Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Christian, your mortgage broker here in Arizona. Today, we're going to talk about something very important if you're buying a house in Arizona. You want to shop based on a payment that's comfortable rather than your max purchase price. And more than anything, the payments that you see on Zillow, more than likely, it's not accurate. That's kind of not the real number that we go based off when we issue an approval. We consider, if there's HOA, how much is your homeowner's insurance, your property taxes can differ depending on county and where you're at in the state. So those are numbers that are not going to show up when you type into Google, buying a house. You start looking at things on Zillow, did a few numbers, did a few scenarios because of a consultation that I had. And mostly all of them, you're off about $500, $400, $600, just kind of depends. I'll touch on what I mean by that. Um, but you want to be careful when you look into Zillow. Zillow's job really is to get you excited. It's to get you to click. It's to get you to apply, right? And once you're emotionally invested, it's very hard to unsee the house or neighborhood, and that's when people, get upset and they're like, "Wait, I thought I qualified for this house. Now you have me looking at these kind of houses." Because in your mind, you already put this house in your head. You're like, "Oh, that payment looks comfortable. 2,500 bucks. I love that house." And then you actually get pre-approved, talk to a lender, and they're like, "Well, the payment's it's $3,000." And that just, now you're looking at $2,500 homes, and they're just not the same what you were looking at 400, or you might be a little disappointed. So you want to avoid that. I mean, it's not really bait and switch. They can do that because it's an approximation. They're just not including, like I said, everything that we talked about. Um, Now, how I operate here, how we operate at the GX4 mortgage team. We don't start with the max purchase price. Yes, we calculate it based on your income, DTI. We can see what your max is, but we always ask our clients, what payment feels comfortable for you, because at the end of the day, if you can afford based on your income a $500,000 home, but financially, budget wise, you don't want to be paying, more than $3,200 a month. Well, you want to be real with yourself and say, well, might qualify for 500, but we want a payment somewhere in the 400,000 range. Just an example of how I approach it. I always ask, are you comfortable with this at your max purchase price? If not, we can kind of work down and kind of see where the market is. That way there's no surprises. And the realtor partners that I work with, they're very good at that. And we kind of work towards, having a transaction that's smooth from start to finish. Now, I believe that's why buyers that are focused on that, on the payment, win more than if you're, fall in love with your max purchase price. Because you don't want down the line something to happen, or where your payment is just too high, or you're kind of strained, and it just doesn't really make sense to make that sacrifice if you could be comfortably in a home that's 50, 80, 100 grand less. And even if you qualify for more, your payment calls for something a little less, and that's okay. And if you can make the max purchase price payment comfortably, then by all means, I'm more than happy to give you that max purchase price pre-qualification, of course, right? That's what we want to do. Um, and again, the biggest killer I see, HOA. You might fall in love with a house in a certain neighborhood, and we're very close to DTI because you want that max purchase price. You want to push the max purchase price, and then the HOA comes back or something happens where it messes things up. Does it? It's not a really good experience for you as the buyer. If you're get told, hey, you qualify for this, and next thing you know, you're struggling, you have to put more money on the table, this or that. It's just not a great experience, right? So I feel like taking all these things into consideration for you as the buyer beforehand and giving us some cushion, if something does pop up, then we're ready to take that DTI. I feel like that's kind of a healthier way to go and work and structure a loan rather than, issuing you a prequel where, we're maxed out in DTI, and if you sneeze, then the deal could be off, and that's not a good experience for you as a buyer, right? Um, I was looking specifically at a house that a client sent me, 380,000 on the East Valley here in Mesa, Arizona. 380,000, two bedroom, two bath, 1,465 square feet. And the payment, when you click on it, it tells you it's about $2,180. I ran the numbers based on a good rate today, be about a 5.5% interest rate today, just to quote it on an FHA loan. And I mean, the payment was somewhere about 2,630, if I'm not mistaken. Actually have that here. 2,641. So as you can see right there, that's almost a $500 difference on the payment. And I mean, it's just to get you, like I said, emotionally attached, get you in the door, which is not a problem. Once you're in there, I mean, you will actually know the real price when you get further into the application. But they're just trying to get you excited, so don't fall for it. Online calculators miss it too. I've had some clients that say, "Hey, I looked up a mortgage calculator online. I put this, and this. It tells me that I qualify for this." But you got to take in consideration like loan products, DTI, how much you're putting down. Again, HOA, property taxes, homeowners insurance. You don't want to fall into a trap where you're doing a mortgage calculator and you're only looking at the principal and interest, not considering HOA. Um, and it just gives you false hope, if anything, and that's what we don't want to happen. We want you to, from day one, talk to somebody that's going to be transparent, so your transaction is smooth from beginning to the end. That's the ultimate goal, right? um I wouldn't obsess over price, right? Looking at it back, I bought my house a few years back. There's a few things that I've learned from it. I wouldn't obsess over price. I would focus on monthly comfort, stability, making sure that that's something that, I feel comfortable making every month rather than, saying, well, I'll find a way to make that payment. You know what I mean? Um, Always leave room for homeowners insurance. You don't know what, or I'm sorry, I should say homeowners association, HOA. Always leave room for that. You don't never know, if you fall in love with the house and the HOA is a little expensive, or you don't want to get issued a pre-qualification without HOA into consideration. You're maxed out in DTI, and just not gonna be a good experience. Now, if you ask us here at the GX4 Mortgage Team, um, we we rather under promise and over deliver. I mean, we really do stand by that. Than approve someone into stress. It's kind of what you see is you get a lot of people get approved into stress, and it's just not a good experience for anybody involved. Now my goal is not really to just get you the max purchase price, is to get you qualified, but somewhere where you're comfortable, right? And then that's how we get referrals. That's how you have a good experience. You tell your family, sister, brother, anybody that's looking to buy a house, you send them our way. And at the end of the day, we just want to be transparent and realistic with our clients in our community here in Arizona. As a local mortgage broker, I feel like it's my obligation to do so. So, hopefully this information, you find it helpful. Hopefully now you don't get fooled by these Zillow estimates that you see online as far as the payment goes. So if you want to run any numbers, if you want to get ready to buy a house down the line, doesn't have to be in the next 30 days, 60 days. I work with clients that it takes 6, 8, 9 months to get them ready, to where they have their keys. But, feel comfortable to reach out to me. I'm here to help you guys out. You can comment budget and I'll DM you, send me a DM. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, whatever social media, subscribe. I'll be uploading a lot of content this year, anything related to mortgages. Here at the GX4 Mortgage Team, we got you covered, powered by Barrett Financial. So you know you're in good hands. My name is Christian, again, your local AZ mortgage broker. You can reach me at 602-321-2470 or message me on any of my platforms. Hope you're having a good day. And again, don't get fooled by that Zillow price tag. So, peace.